Hello, chicken lovers! Welcome to Affinity Deckcheck. This is my current build. I am playing on Magic Online, and in real life this is called Affinity Mark X3. Please don't ask why. On this playlist you can watch me play Magic Online with this deck. Every time I make a new edition or cut a card, replace a card, whatever, I am going to make a new video explaining why I did that change. Please note that this video is for people who know what Affinity does and what the cards do, who have a concept what the core cards of this deck are. If you don't or just want to recheck, then I would recommend you the Affinity 101 videos, which can also be found on this channel. So we're going to start out with a land base. We run 16 lands. It's been a debate between players if 16 or 17 lands are better. For my personal testing, I can say that 16 lands is enough, at least for me. I don't have to mulligan that often because of land screw, so 16 lands is the way to go for me. Interestingly, I have an island in this deck, giving that I have a 3-3 split between the two colors, which are red, Galvanic Blast, and blue. But in the sideboard I also have 4 red cards and 1 blue card. Despite of that, I think that you want to have the blue cards earlier in the game, so Island is my choice. The next one is Blinkmoth Nexus. Absolutely 4 off is no question here. Same for Darksteel Citadel, 3 Glimmer Voids, and for Inkmoth Nexi, which I just realized with the zoom function that it seems they have some corpses on the Nexus or X or what the hell this is. I gotta take a look at the big artwork. So regarding the land base, this is an absolutely standard Affinity land base. There's nothing much to tell or discuss here. It's just what you have. Going on to the 0 drops, we run 2 Mem Knights. I think 2 Mem Knights is really enough. This guy is a really weak guy, even if it doesn't cost any mana. I used to play 3 Mem Knights, but I cut the 3rd Mem Knight for the single welding jar, our funny spaghetti bowl here. I really love welding jar. It's a one-off. It's pretty good. It can get you out of hairy situations. It's very nice to have. I just want to play 1 of it because when you run 2 you can get it. It can get a little bit clunky in the starting end because it doesn't do really much at the beginning. So I think the split between Mem Knights and welding jars, we have 2 Mem Knights and 1 jar, is ideal for this deck or my taste. For Ornithopters, yeah, it's like absolutely standard. For Mox Opals, the same. Also for Signal Pest, for Springleaf Drum, and the 1.5 mana cost, the Wall Scourge. Also 4 of it. Really nice. Going to the 2 drops, we got the 4 Arcbound Ravagers and 3 Steel Overseers. I really think that Steel Overseer is a very underrated card and can be a very strong guest card. But still, I think 3 is enough of them. Having 4 just increases the probability to have multiples early in the game, which is just clunky. It can really make 1 creature very powerful, but 4 of them can be too clunky, so I prefer to have 3 of them, and I think it's a good choice. Cranial Plating, 4, absolutely no question here. And this is one of the other additions here, Spellskite. Spellskite is in particular good in this deck, in this build, for 2 reasons. The one reason is it also, like Welding Jar, it protects your other creatures. It's a little bit expensive. Of course, it's more expensive than Welding Jar, but it also can tap and attack with maybe Ravager counters and cranial plating on it. Please note that the ability of Spellskite doesn't need him to tap or it to tap or her to tap. I really don't know what gender it is. Maybe it's something we have to discuss it another time. Whatever, you can attack with this guy and still use the ability. The other great thing why I think the Spell's Kite is nice here is the Ensoul artifact, which is which is also new in this deck. The first reason is you can also ensoul your Spell's Kite to have a 5/5 attacking skiting thing, and the Spell's Kite also can protect your Ensoul artifact, your ensouled artifact. So the next thing, which is not absolutely standard, is the split between Edge Champions and Master of Ethereum. I run 1 Master and 3 Edge Champion. I like the Master very much, but in my experience it is often easily removed and more easily blocked by some jump blocking creatures. It has really no sense if your Master of Ethereum is like a 10/10 Juggernaut, but it can be blocked by every small Mem Knight. So in my opinion, this split is better for this deck. On the other hand, Edge Champion is very strong in a meta where I have a lot of spot removal. Nearly every deck has something to remove creatures, and or a mass of blockers where he just can walk through like it was nothing. The only thing you should really take care about is that you make him strong fast, so you won't win many games with Edge Champion staying 2/2. The next split I'd like to discuss is the one between Galvanic Blast and Ensoul Artifact. We are running 3 Galvanic Blasts and 2 Ensoul Artifacts. I might tell you a little backstory here. The build I had before this it was basically the same. It ran 3 Galvanic Blasts and 3 Thoughtcasts. And when I said I want to try Ensoul Artifact, I think it's a good card, I just want to have it in my deck, I swapped the Thoughtcasts completely for the Ensoul Artifact, so I have a 3-3 split between the Galvanic Blasts and the Ensoul Artifacts. And then it happened what the whole internet is saying against the Ensoul Artifact, that I got 2-for-1 pretty often. So I thought, okay, first thing, 3 Ensoul Artifacts are a bit clunky. Yeah, you want Ensoul Artifacts just to complement some sort like a shrapnel blast or a cranial plating. You just want to have it like a little cream on the topping of your deadly Affinity cake. So I cut one Ensoul Artifact and replaced it with the Spell's Kite I discussed earlier, or I told you earlier. So Spell's Kite can protect Ensoul Artifact. Most of you would think now, okay, if you the perfect thing is to ensoul your Darksteel Citadel, but it's still open to Path of Exile, and this is right, because you can also kite the path to the Spell's Kite, which truly kills the Spell's Kite immediately. But please keep in mind that Ensoul Artifact makes a 5/5 creature, and 5 damage is most likely 25% of your opponent's life total, so this thing really needs to swing 4 times, and in a very fast-paced creature aggro deck like this one, 5 damage is really worthy, and for this I think this is a good split, and yeah, that's the way I play it. So now we're going to the sideboard. I had sadly no way to arrange them in any order, so I'm just not forgetting any of the cards. I'm going to discuss them in the order appearing here. The first one is Ancient Grudge. I think every modern deck playing red has this. It's absolutely great in the mirror match. It's cool against Tron, or whatever relies on big or crucial artifact cards, maybe Blood Moon against the Dalkin Shackles or Battle Skulls or whatever. The really cool thing here is the flashback mechanic. You play this for 2 mana and can flashback it for a green. I like this better than Wear and Tear, even though the tear side can tear apart the Stony Silence. I think that given that you are running 3 Edge Champions and 2 Ensoul artifacts, and all the stuff that pretty much say I don't care about Stony Silence, it is enough to have those 2 grudges in. The next one is Dismember. We had a little bit of discussion at the Grand Prix Vienna inside our clan or playgroup or whatever the hell Mafia is, about what this slot should be dedicated to or what card to put in this slot. The main idea was I want something to respond to Kataki's War's Wage as fast as possible and to break up a Splinter Twin combo as reliable as possible. So the two options we had was Dismember and Dispatch. For you people don't know, Dispatch is 1 mana instant, tap target creature, and if you have Metalcraft, you can exile that creature. In my opinion, Dismember is far better just because you don't need colored mana to cast it. In both situations, I mean, when you have Kataki played out by opponent, or you want to break up Splinter Twin combo, you really don't care about the 4 life you're losing. Casting Dismember, you just need 1 colorless mana. I also like this better than Gutshot, which is a pretty new addition I saw in some top 8 decks. Gutshot does 1 damage, and that is really little for 1 card, even though if it answers most of the things you have it in, it can't do nothing against a good Merfolk or Affinity. So I think 5/5 for 1 mana and 4 life is a really good deal. It's kind of the emergency card you need here. The next 2 is 1 Edge Champion and 1 Master of Ethereum. The guys are here just to get it switched around, to have the split modified. So for example, if you're facing Merfolk, you would like to have 4 Edge Champions. If you're facing Splinter Twin or Storm, you most likely want to have 2 Master of Ethereums just to kill your opponents quickly. Next up is Grafdigger's Cage. Has 2 decks it breaks very much. The one is every pod, so Melira and Kikijiki pod. Since creature cards can't enter the battlefield from graves and libraries, well, the decks which reanimate decks are not very popular right now. It is good to have it around for some rogue decks, but the really reason here is just pod decks. They can't use pod, they can't use Chord of Calling, and the other big use for this card is Storm decks, of course, because they also can flashback. So this is a very good card against those both decks. To be honest, I only board it for against Melira, Kikijiki, and Storm, but it's so good against this deck, so one of it has to be. The next one is Relic of Progenitus. I played 2 of them, and here's why. You want to run Relic against everything running Scavenging Oozes and Tarmogoyfs, and you want to have a Relic as soon as possible. For one, it exiles the cards step by step, and if everything goes wrong, you still can crack it and draw a card, and this is the big advantage which this has against Tormod's Crypt. Even though Tormod's Crypt doesn't cost any mana, this is just card advantage or card drawing, which is very crucial in this matchup. I think 2 is the good number. I want to have a Relic in every matchup where I board it in. The other one-offs are more like more like cards that make the matchup rounder. Yeah, you have Grafdigger against Pod, but you also good against Pod with Galvanic Blasts and Dismembers and Whip Flares. So that it's just one little piece, one little needle that stings them. But Relic of Progenitus, the games where you want to have them, you really want to have them. Also in Storm when they are trying to flashback. So that's the reason I choose to play two of them. Spells Guide, I have a second Spells Guide sideboard. I think two Spells Guides is really standard. Most of them have two in the sideboard. Great against everything with removal, but also against Boggle decks. This is green-white hexproof, I think, called in America. Against Splinter Twin and Infect. Get it out, it's really great. The next one is Thoughtseize. Everyone runs Thoughtseize, everyone likes Thoughtseize, but not everyone runs 3 copies of it. Most of the players have 2 of it. I chose to run a 3rd one just because I really like it. Thoughtseize can crush the opponent's combo. You can really look at the opponent's hand and see if he does have removal. Can I make an Alpha Strike? Can I kill him? It's so good utility, so I really don't want to play less than 3. Next card on the list is Torpor Orb. This is one of the cards I mentioned before, where it is like a just a little piece where that makes the game plan of the opponents harder. Creatures entering the battlefield don't cause abilities to trigger. Obviously against Splinter Twin and Tarmo Twin variations, but also great against Hate Bears, where practically every creature has some crazy enter the battlefield ability. So these are the 2 decks I can think right now where Torpor Orb is really good. Maybe also against decks which rely heavily on Snapcaster Mage and Restoration Angel. So blue-white control decks is also target for this card. The last card I want to talk today is Whip Flare. I used to play a copy of them a long time. With the Nils in the ranks. I somehow like 2 Whip Flares better, just because it has more, it's more versatile, you know, it's more, you have just more decks to take care of it. Hate Bears is great, Meliropod, Merfolk, there's everything that runs a ton of small creatures. 2 damage to each non-artifact creature is like a nice one-sided pyroclasm. The thought behind why I choose 2 is the same. Why I have 2 Relic of Progenitors. I just want to have this card in the matchups where I boarded in, like let's say black-white tokens. I want to have a Whip Flare, so when I'm planning to do my Alpha Strike where the opponent gets little damage, I just want to have one to clear the board. So you see, that is my build. That is what we are going to go into combat in the next videos. So please comment if you have some questions or some remarks. Thank you for watching. This was your chicken.